Hey, how you doing, Justin? Here today. We've got a slightly different kind of a video. It's mostly going to be talking. I'm going to tell you a little bit of story. We're going to discuss some stuff. If you're one of those people who often puts in the comment box, less talk, more play, this video is definitely not going to be for you. I'm hesitant to call it a lesson. I'm basically going to talk about why I think most people should not learn to read standard music notation and the reasons why you might want to do that, why it's a good thing. I also want to talk about what the important stuff is to learn and how to learn and how to think about an approach to understanding the fretboard when it comes to knowing where the notes are and that kind of thing. But I wanted to start with a little bit of a story about how I came to learn to read music. So when I started to learn guitar, it was mostly done by ear. We had like a chord book with some basic chord progressions in it, some Beatles songs, that kind of stuff. But really, most of it was done just by listening to songs that I liked, the Beatles or the Stones or whatever, and trying to figure it out, mostly getting it wrong to start off with. When I was in bands, it would be like we'd all agree on a particular song. We'd all go home and try and learn our stuff, come together, and then see if we could figure it out, as a collective. There was a lot of sharing of information between friends, and when I went for guitar lessons, it was very much, hey, check out this idea, learn this, and you might write down a chord box or a little idea, but there was very little reading and writing of music. So a real turning point in my life came when I was 17. I had to decide what exactly I was going to do with my life. Was I actually going to pursue music as a career? Was I going to go to university and study engineering or business or whatever? I don't know what the other choices were. Maybe art school. But to get the only music university in my town, in Hobart, Tasmania, was the Tasmanian Conservatorium of Music, which was a classical music school. And I was doing kind of, they call it in England, A-level music, like pre-university level music. And in that class, we had to learn some music on treble clef and bass clef, like I could do Every Good Boy Deserves Fruit to figure out what the notes were in order to pass basic music stuff like that. But I definitely didn't read anything on guitar. I think my teacher had taught me a couple of songs in tab at that time. I remember learning one classical guitar piece, I think it's called Adelita, Francisco Tárrega, beautiful piece, which he'd written out in tab, and I'd tried to kind of figure it out. But as soon as I could get away from the music, I would, and I'd try it again. It would just be an ear. Things would change because I wasn't looking at the sheet music all the time, and I'd gradually get things wrong, but whatever. It doesn't matter. It was music, and it was musical, and it was all about feeling and all that sort of stuff. But if I wanted to go to that music school, I was like, well, I'm probably going to have to learn to read music, but I'm not sure how that's going to work out. So as it was, I knew who the guitar teacher was at the con at that time. His name was John McMillan. He also owned a local music store. So one afternoon, I popped into the music store and said, oh, excuse me, John, I'm thinking about maybe going to the conservatorium, can we have a little chat and see if there's any chance that I might actually be able to get in or not? And he was like, yeah, sure. I bought guitars at his store before. He was a nice guy. So we went down, sat at the back, and I played this one, the Adelita tune for him. And then I think I played a little bit of, I think it was some Joe Satriani. Maybe I played that Tears in the Rain and maybe a bit of Midnight or something like that. And I had a little walking bass thing that I'd figured out as well, a jazz walking bass idea. And he was like, oh, that's, promising. You got some stuff. He said, how's your sight reading? And I said, I don't have any. I can't read for guitar. Like I know what the notes are a little bit, but I can't read. And he was like, well, you can't come to a classical music school if you can't read. I was like, oh God. And in my mind, I was going like, oh damn, that means I'm going to have to go and study engineering or do something different, And he said, but I'll give you a chance. He disappeared off the back of the store and he came back with this book. And it was this book, the Andres Segovia edition of the Studies for Guitar by Fernando Saw. And he opened it up to this page. I'll put a screenshot of it on. And he popped it down in front of me. He said, learn this. If you can learn this and come back and play it for me in 2 weeks, I'll let you in. I'm just looking at this thing going like, oh my God, like it's a horrible tune at the best of times to read because it's all block chords. It's complicated. So it didn't take a whole lot of thinking to be like, well, yeah, let's give this a serious go. If I can learn to do this and play this piece in a couple of weeks, then I'm in at the con. All my problems are solved. I know what I'm doing with the rest of my life now. I'm going to be a musician. And that was pretty exciting. Now, I remember coming home, still living at my parents' house or whatever, and opening up this book and opening up the other one, and just going, how am I going to do this? And the first really big problem was the fact that one note can be played in more than one place on the guitar neck. So it was like I had this chart which showed all of the notes on the stave and little lines pointing to where they went to on the neck, and I was trying, it was pretty tricky. So what I ended up doing was converting it to tab, basically. I drew out my own tab paper and sat there just working out like, well, there's that note and that note and that note, that's there, and there, and then just, having to use. It was a lot of calculating how it was even possible to play some of those chords. As it was, there was a couple of mistakes in the music as well, which made it even more challenging. But I managed to get through it. It took me about 10 days. It was at least 2 or 3 hours a day sitting there trying to figure out these notes and calculate how I was going to play it. And that let me 4 days at the end where I was going to have to try and memorize this piece. Because I knew that if I went down and put the music up, I wouldn't be reading the music, and I couldn't take the tab in. That would give the game away that I hadn't learned to read music. I think he'd figured it out pretty quick anyway that was the case, but still. So I managed to learn it, memorize most of the tune, not particularly well, but most of it in that 4 days that I had remaining, and I went back to see John. I remember it was a really miserable cold day, and I was really, really nervous going in there. Even though I was performing regularly, I was playing 3-4 nights a week at that time, and the idea of just going in there it was just terrifying. And he was like, "Hey man, okay, let's go." And we sat at the back of the store, and I played through it, and I knew I wasn't getting it right, and I got the order of some of the bits right, so I kind of got the right notes in the wrong order sometimes, and I was struggling a bit because I was trying to look at the page to pretend I was reading the music when actually I should have been looking at my hands. But anyway, and I just remember looking up, thinking that I'd blown it and that it was all going to be over. And he had a big smile on his face. He's like, "You got grit." He said, "I didn't think that you'd make it through a couple of bars." He said, "As long as your grades and stuff are okay, you got a place on the course. Go home and practice this for the official audition, but don't worry about it. You're in." And I was just so excited, that John started talking about all of the stuff that we could do together, and it was just like the beginning of this whole massively exciting adventure for me. John was a fantastic teacher. He didn't just teach me classical guitar, because even though he was a classical guitar teacher at the school, he wasn't really. He was a jazz guy. He was a rock guy. He was just really into music and guitar, and he taught me all about practicing. He was pretty ruthless, and if I didn't, he had an 8-hour-a-day practice routine for me, and if I hadn't done all of my practice and I showed up or didn't know something, he'd just send me straight back home. There was no new lesson. It was like, go back and do it again. He was hard, but he was a great teacher and really helped me with a lot of stuff. So I'm not really sure if there's a moral to that story, except for it's worth learning to read music if you really need to. And part of the reason for this video and doing this little talk was I've met people recently, and I had a couple of emails from people who have said how much fun they're having on my beginner course after having had a long, frustrating period trying to learn to read music. Because a lot of people still, if you go to a store, you might end up stumbling upon how to learn to play guitar book, which starts you going, learning these little single note melodies and reading the dots and all of that. And for most people, that's just not a great way to start playing guitar. If you want to play pop music, if you want to play just songs and play campfire stuff, you don't want to be starting with that kind of learning to read music thing. Learning single notes, maybe, but I think learning chords and learning songs that way is a much, much, much better idea. Reading music on guitar is kind of tricky, especially being the fact that one note can be found in more than one place. That already makes it a little bit more complicated than it would be for piano, where it's like there's an E, that's the one place where you find that one note. But there are other reasons why learning to read music is maybe prohibitive as a starting point. A lot of times if you're going to learn to play rock or blues, the timings are a little bit complicated. They're not. They're just felt. People are feeling the music and just kind of playing over the beat. It's not as regimented as it might be in classical music. So trying to write that down is difficult, let alone read it. I've done quite a lot of transcribing, and some of those, transcribing B.B. King or whatever is, even if he's not playing many notes, trying to write down exactly where they fall can be really, really challenging. So reading it is a lot harder than it would be just to listen to it. And I think it's, really, really much more important for people to develop a good ear and a good sense of rhythm and feel, which you mostly do by learning and concentrating on learning music by your ear, than you would by learning to read traditional notation, especially as it's already difficult. It's going to take a lot of hours work to be able to do it. So I have to check my notes here. The other thing that I think is important to understand is, particularly when I was growing up, there was still a kind of a session scene. There were session guitar players who would be in the studio playing loads of tracks all day, reading music, and that does still exist. There are a few cats around. Brent Mason springs to mind who do that, and there are people who do reading gigs where you just stand with an orchestra or whatever, and they pop the music down and play. And if you're going to be one of those guys, then you should definitely learn to read music. But for me, at least, most of the sessions I do now, people just play the track. There's not even a chord chart most of the time. They'll just be like, hey, here's the track, and they'll play it. What's a vibe? Hey, let's do something. Maybe they'll give you something Beatlesy here or something like Ed Sheeran. There might be some verbal direction, but there wouldn't be a chart showing what to do most of the time. Occasionally, not most of the time. So I really feel like for most people, most of the time, learning to read traditional notation is a waste of their time. They'd be much better off learning other stuff, which we'll talk about just in a sec. There are, though, reasons that you should definitely learn to read music. If you want to play jazz, for example, you're probably going to want to learn the heads of the tunes. You're probably going to want to learn to use the real book. And if you're doing that, that's in traditional notation. It's not in tab. So therefore, you would want to learn to read music. Ironically, perhaps, there's quite a few jazz players that I've met that are much better ear players than they are readers. So they could read a melody, but they wouldn't be reading like really heavy-duty, hardcore, horrible, difficult reading stuff because they mostly play by ear. We listen to music, right? Learning to play by ear. Why wouldn't you learn by listening if that's what we do? We don't read music. You don't sit down with an orchestra score and read it and think, oh, this is amazing. We listen to it. So it makes sense to learn it that way. I'm pretty set on that stuff. Anyway, if you want to learn to play classical guitar, you almost certainly want to learn to read music as well, because most of the repertoire is presented in traditional notation. You can buy tab books of classical stuff, but again, it just makes sense to me if that's really something specific that you wanted to do, it would totally make sense to learn to read notation. Obviously, if you want to get into reading gigs that I mentioned before, if you want to play in the West End or you want to be a proper session guy where literally somebody's going to throw some sheet music on in front of you and you've got to play it, then you're going to have to learn to read music. If you wanted to arrange for instruments that read, if you're a songwriter, even if on a most basic level, but you want to write out stuff for a violin or for any other instrument, then you're going to need to learn to read music as well. And the one other thing where I feel like it's slightly easier is analysis of a transcription. If you've worked out a solo on your own and written it down, if you've done it in traditional notation, it can be easier sometimes to see chord formations or groups of harmony. But again, that requires a fairly high degree of competency in reading if you're going to explore that. So what should you do? Well, I've already mentioned tab. I think tab is really fantastic for guitar players because it shows you not only what the note is, but where to play it on the fretboard. It doesn't say play E, because E could be here, or here, or here, or here, or here. They would all be written exactly the same place in traditional standard notation. You might have markings that help you, that tell you what string it's played on or something like that. It's not, it's not like you have to guess every time, but in principle, that does make it quite a lot harder. I think a better approach is learning tab, but also knowing what the notes are on the fretboard. Now, this is one of those things that's it's a little bugbear for me. On every instrument, you have to know what the notes are, but people still learn guitar and think it's okay not to know what the notes are. But you just should. It's not that difficult. It's a bit of a pain in the butt when you start because it feels a bit awkward and you've got to try and figure it out, and it'll take you, half an hour a day for a few months or whatever to figure it out. But then once you've done it, and you know the notes on the guitar neck forever. It makes sense of tab, because if you go, oh, I'm on the 9th fret on the 3rd string, that's okay. But if you know it's an E, then it'll make much more musical sense relative to the chords that you're playing and all of that sort of stuff. So learning the notes on the fretboard combined with reading tab gives you all of the good information. If you just read tab and you didn't know the notes on the fretboard, then you never know the names of the notes that you're playing, and that feels kind of bad. So it's that combination of tab and knowing the notes on the neck I think is really valuable. The other part of it is learning to read rhythms, which is the other really good content that you get when you're learning to read standard notation. But you don't have to learn standard notation to learn rhythm. You can learn rhythm independently. I learned rhythm using the Lewis Belson Modern Reading Text in 4/4. I've since then created another book I co-wrote with a drummer friend of mine called Reading Rhythms. Now that's a pretty cryptic title. And in that book, I explain how to learn to read rhythms in a way that makes sense for me as a guitar player, but it would also work for any other instrument. We really break it down into little sections so you start to learn to recognize all of the different blocks of rhythm that you're going to see. Learning to read rhythm and just being able to tap it out, which is how I did it. I was sitting on the train, Modern Reading Text in 4/4, metronome in my ear, tapping the rhythms out. Once you understand the rhythm, everything else becomes simple. And my type of, everything else becomes simple. The understanding of like the performance part of rhythm becomes simple, because you'll know, oh, here's the beat and I've got to go da 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 da. So it's an eighth note and 2/16 note, da 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 da, whatever. And when you're transcribing then, so what I do now is I will always write in tab so I know where the note is played on the fretboard, but then I add the rhythm to it. And learning to read rhythms isn't just for transcribing like that. It's really handy for writing a chord chart, being able to show where a push is, to be able to write down a strumming pattern. There's loads and loads of good things about learning to read rhythm. Again, it's going to take you, 30, 50 hours or something over a period of time to be able to do it. But that's really valuable. That's not just about learning to read and write rhythm. That's putting the rhythm in you and to the level where anytime you hear a rhythm, you just recognize what it is and you're able to remember it and you're able to do it. So for me, my advice for any of you that are, even if whether you're a beginner or you're like a really serious musician, would be get down tab, get down the notes on the fretboard 100%, and then learn to read rhythms as well. Be able to read, write, and play rhythms. Those elements, for me, are far more important than learning dots, unless you fall into one of those categories that I talked about before. If you meet somebody who's learning to play guitar, please don't recommend they start with learning to read music, because it's a really frustrating journey. You end up playing very, very boring, simple things because that's the limit of your reading ability. Whereas if you were just playing, you'd be able to play far above that. So just be aware of that. If you've got a contrary opinion to this, if you really think notation, reading notation is important, maybe you're a music teacher that has experience in this, let me know in the comments. Let's start a bit of a debate here. But I feel pretty strongly about this, and I feel like I've got enough experience as a teacher and as a musician and a player to have at least a valid opinion. But that doesn't mean it's always going to be right, and I love a good argument. So let me know in the comments if you've got one of them for me. I really hope you enjoyed this talky session, and I'll see you for a more traditional guitar lesson very soon. You take care. Bye.